Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to make a sphere and also to emboss text on a sphere. So I'm going to click on New Part, and we have our working area here. Over in the browser, you have something that says Origin, and so we're going to click the plus sign right next to the origin. If I click on the YZ plane, it turns blue, and I can click, if I hold shift down and click on the XZ and the YZ, all of them are highlighted, and then right click, I can make them all visible for this project here. So I have all three of my working planes here. Alright, so I'm going to click the home button, and we are going to do a drawing on the XY plane. So if I right click, when I hover over this and it turns to that shaded gray color, I can right click and click on New Sketch, and it brings me to sketch mode. Alright, so I'm going to make a sphere. To make a sphere, I'm going to make a half of a circle and then revolve it. Here's how you do that. I'm going to click the line function, go to the very center and it turns green, click once, and then type in 1 inch. This sphere is going to be 1 inch, and let's click the front so it shows that. And now we're going to escape to get out of our line feature. Now I want to make the arc part, and so I'm going to go over the same distance that I just made my line. So where it turns green, click once, go up to the top where it turns green again, click again, and now if I drag to the right, it will make my arc. And I want the arc to be 0.5 because I want the diameter of the circle to be 1 inch. And now I have a 1 inch tall, 1 inch height of this arc, and then the arc also goes out 0.5. And I'm going to click the home button. This is what it looks like. Let's finish the sketch. It's very simple to revolve. I'm just going to click the revolve button and then go to this axis. My first line that I drew, it turns white when you get to it. Click it once and it makes your sphere. Okay, and click enter and it is done. Now this is where we're going to make the emboss on the sphere. So to do this, we need a work plane to work on. So here's the XY plane. This will be like the front of your sphere, and so we're going to click on plane. These will be work planes. So let's click on plane, and then if I go and hover over any of these planes, they turn a different color. So this one turns a grayish color. If I click and hold and drag, I can drag it out to 0.5, which would be the edge, the front edge of my sphere, and click enter. And now I have a work plane to work on. Alright, so now I want to do a text on the front of this work plane, so I'm going to hover over until it turns gray, right click, and do a new sketch on this work plane. And you've done this before, but we're going to click text, and I'm going to click and drag a text box, and I'm going to type in Merry Christmas. If it goes down, if you only want it 2 lines and it's 3, highlight the entire text and change the size of it. So I'll change it to 1. Maybe I want to put 2015, which takes it down to 3, and it's okay if you want that to be. I'm going to highlight all of this, and I'm going to make sure it is centered across and centered up and down, and say OK, and there it is. Notice my text is still highlighted. I need to click escape to get out of that, and then I can move this around to wherever I want it. Make sure it's centered. Alright, and so now that's done. I'm going to finish the sketch, and if I move this around, you're going to see that it's not yet on the sphere. It's just on that work plane. That's what the emboss feature is going to do for us. So I'm going to click. Normally it would say sweep at the top. You just need to hit this drop down and go to emboss, and then it's asking you what you want to emboss, and if you hover over the Merry Christmas 2015, click on it while it's white, it will then turn it blue. So here's your green arrow. Notice it's pointing the wrong direction. You want it to go towards the sphere, not away from the sphere. And so I'm going to click the second button here and now it's going to go towards that. It's set at 0.1 inches, which is pretty big, so I'm going to make it at 0.05. I would say that should be the greatest depth that it should be. Click OK, and there you have the Merry Christmas 2015. If you really want to see what it looks like, I'm going to again go up here, click, hold shift down, click, click, and turn off visibility. And if I go down here to the work plane here, I can right click and click on visibility, and now I have my Merry Christmas 2015 that has been embossed. And that is how you emboss, ladies and gentlemen.